Alright, so I'm hoping to make it for my rank 20 here, but it's not likely within under 2 minutes. Alright, against a warrior. I hope it's not a dragon warrior.
You asked for it.
Although this hand is perfect against aggro warrior. We will see though. It's kind of important to know whether it's a control warrior or aggro warrior. It might be aggro warrior, but I have a feeling that some people at this rank, um, already at this hour, um, I mean, I guess he might be on a win streak, and if he is, then he would be playing aggro warrior. But within this last few minutes before turning October 1st, it's very unlikely that people will make it in time with an aggro warrior within 2 minutes, anyways. So here I'll just see and test if it's an aggro warrior. I mean, I can still freeze phase after one swing of the Fiery War Axe, but this is just to see what he has. Alright. So this is a good way to push damage as well, even though it was kind of unorthodox for me to actually coin out. But at the same time, this is also kind of faking that I am an aggressive mage, even though I didn't play aggressively. But it felt like it was because I coined out Sorcerer's Apprentice. Both to buff. This is getting kind of scary to where it is already at 10. Cthulhu at 10 means that the warrior has the freedom to start armoring up um, pretty much with the shield bearers, and we'll probably see it here. I mean, in the line that he did, in the line of play that he did, it's pretty close to that point. Uh, that is a quick Thoroson, but I have the answer. I've I had two different ways to answer this, either Forbidden Flame or that, but I guess I'll save the Forbidden Flame for some awkward situations. Um, there's Shield Bearer. I don't think it was reduced, so that was drawn or something. Should I play Antonidas here just to bait his trade? Nah, I don't think so. Uh, I'll, I'll just use my Forbidden Flame here. Um, Initially I didn't want to, because I wanted to save it, but because he's showing that he has his shield bearers. So that was shield bearer number one. Um, that wasn't reduced, but this one is. So that's one reduced card used so far. Yeah, I think I'll just play my Kabbalist Tome. I'll put up the Vaporize, and I'm gonna freeze face because that's what it is. I mean that it looks pretty obvious now that it is, but then again, why would I freeze the guy when he can just freeze it for me? And then since now I'm turn 9, I can do Antonidas and a Frostbolt, which is the other reason. Um, but just to note, I am not actually a person that plays Reliance over Antonidas, and even if I am, I'm probably most likely ahead because it shows that I could endlessly Fireball, and if I could endlessly Fireball, which means that my Antonidas is alive. Okay, before I move on, here comes execute number one, which gets countered. We'll see if it has another one. Both executes were reduced, and so was that uh, ghoul. So he's already. Oh, there's another reduced card. So he's used most of his reduced cards by now. I would say that's like 4 out of 6 or 7 cards that he had. uh, at least four, if not five, used already because there was one shield bearer that was also in there. That yeah, so it was like about 4 or 5 cards used total now. So he might have one more reduced card. So here I'm gonna start trying to gain board control, even though my hand has only Yogg, which I will play if he plays multiple creatures. But if he's just playing one at a time, I believe I can handle it. So here's the final reduce card, and that's like a weird ghoul, but because he already spent both his executes, so that made sense. Now I guess I'll just use my that Forbidden Flame. Why not? So I have answers for cards one at a time, and he plays nothing, so I guess I'll play nothing too. I mean, I have nothing to play. My hand is reactive. Um, we'll see if he has Sylvanas. Um, cause at this rank, you never know when they have Sylvanas, but I also think that they don't really want to play Sylvanas until they've seen my Polymorph. Here I attacked with my Mana Worm because I wasn't going to just waste my spells onto the face anyway, and I want to control the board because I haven't seen many of his cards. So I mean, one damage at this point is
I have no
practically
time for
nothing.
games.
Okay, so here's the Sylvanas, which is good that I actually dropped, and that first Shield Slam gets Spellbent, and this is why I like Spellbender. I mean, it doesn't always work out, but this is why I picked the Polybore. It's also to kind of fake that I don't have an answer for Cthulhu, which is then probably his next play. If he has drawn Cthulhu or kept Cthulhu, it would be played pretty soon.
Welcome to the Grand
Ah, top deck
Tournament.
Justicar. Okay, here's the second Shield Slam. So all the removals are pretty much gone except Brawls. So he basically has two Brawls remaining. So I think I can flexibly use this one of the fireballs there. It's always good to control the board. Um, and if this mana worm gets unanswered, I can just keep pushing for face damage and reduce the armor that he had gained. Alright, so here's Cthulhu, which is what I kept my poly morph for, and I was lucky to pick up the polybore against Sylvanas so that I didn't have to waste this polymorph, which already since the start I knew that I was saving this poly um, polymorph for uh, Cthulhu. Of course, my secret is bad in the sense that I could have used this polymorph first and then used. So there's the Doom color that he actually uses. Some players, some Cthulhu players, does not play with Doom color, and he thinks that he has to pressure the board now. I do still have Fireball to answer this. Hopefully, my Flame Waker doesn't go face too many times. Uh, I mean, it's good that at least it got reduced down to 2 health. So if he does go face, I can use my Flame Waker to trade instead. Of course, I'm hoping that he doesn't go face. Okay, so he didn't go face, which is a good thing because, I mean, he already used Doomcaller before, and I polymorphed the Cthulhu, so, I mean, there's nothing that he can really do now. I think he only, I mean, it seems to be a complete list for Cthulhu Warrior since he had Sylvanas, so I haven't seen Brawls and I haven't seen um, Backlore. And here I don't really want him to just hit for two or draw more cards, even though I am trying to make him draw. I kind of want him to take more face damage by trading in for 4 damage instead of 2, because any acceleration of fatigue is important at this point. We are closing in on the fatigue. So here's Veclors, and I mean, I drew my Roaring Torch, but I'm not going to do that because I'm still going to take hit from the second. Oh, there's Doom, one of the best cards to start out from Yogg, even though I would prefer Twisting Nether since I am on the clock. Oh, that Ice Block is pretty obvious now that I have Ice Block on me, um, because that Ice Block. Oh, here's a Holy Fire, and it did work out that it targeted him instead of myself. Otherwise, it would just net 0. Um, those are some good secrets, especially the misdirection. Snake Trap is nice too. Oh, I wish it didn't evolve me, but we'll see if this dragon lives. Oh, it won't. Healing? Will it heal me? Healing me would be great. Healing him would be the worst, but healing one of my minions doesn't really matter. It would be preferred that it healed me, then I would be way ahead at that point. It's nice to see a shifting shade. Shifting shade really helps me win the game. Um, one reason for that, I can always get another brawl or some card. Okay, well, I didn't get what I was expecting, but it's always nice to have cards for board presence. So here, I'm gonna accelerate his card draw now. I mean, I'm helping him in a way, but at the same time, he doesn't have Cthulhu anymore. So because he used Doomcaller early to buff Cthulhu instead of a use of revival, and he also tried to play board presence. And here's one of the brawls. Hopefully he wins so that I can ping his acolyte. But me winning also helps me deal more face damage. However, I also rather increase his fatigue, um, accelerate um, towards his fatigue because I'm in fatigue due to the doom that I did. But the doom definitely saved me too. I mean, not to be unthankful about it. I am thankful that it cleared the second, well, Veclor's twin because my Roaring Torch would only uh, have dealt with Veclor himself, but not the other one. So I would be taking 4 damage. All right, so he's pressured enough to use the second brawl here, um, and that's the other reason why I kept my faceless summoner. And here effigy didn't give me something. It didn't give me anything really good here. But because now I know that he has already performed both brawl, it's time to drop my faceless summoner and start pushing for more damage. I wonder what other cards does Cthulhu Warrior play. I believe the standard Cthulhu Warrior has also Gorehowl. It's almost not really like a Cthulhu Warrior. It's more like a weapon warrior. Obviously, because it's standard. Oh, there's a Gorehowl, so he has cards. Um, I could have played my Curator last turn, but I knew that I had Stake Trap, and they both have 3 HP in a way. One is just one creature. However, Curator does push more face damage on this turn. Uh, and it might have been a misplay not playing the Curator since I could push more damage. In light of me being ahead in the fatigue. Um, but because I have enough board presence, I should be okay. So basically, I would have missed 2 damage, if not more, by not playing the Curator earlier because of this ping here. So it's about 2 damage that I missed,
We have
um,
many secrets.
and not 4, because I would have not gained an extra snake and that I could ping. So it's about 2 to 3 damage missed, but either way, I believe he is done because I also have a Roaring Torch and I have Board Presence and I have Polymorph, Flame Strike, Blizzard, Cone of Cold. I can literally stall for longer turns and I still have my Misdirection. So unfortunately, he doesn't have any more minions for his weapon to uh, for him to hurt himself with Misdirection. Uh, but if he does target my face, he would still end up hitting one of my minions, and if he hits the Cthulhu's Chosen, then he would take 4 extra damage because of Divine Shield. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I certainly did, even though I couldn't get my win. Well, there was no way I would win under 2 minutes unless he disconnected or he said that he'd give up because it doesn't meet his requirement that he was trying to get rank 20 as well. Thank you.